actually graduated from medical school just last week, and I could not be more proud of her. For now, I'm one step closer to my dream of doing absolutely nothing while she becomes the sole breadwinner. We also have to thank the many professors and attendings that have supported and educated us these last 4 years. When I told my medicine attending that I would be speaking here today, he gave me a look of confusion and then said, "I don't get it. I thought only the smart students speak at graduation." But graduates, it's truly crazy to think that 4 years has passed by so quickly. Let's reminisce for a second about our journey through medical school and the many things we learned along the way. The first 2 years were spent learning the intricacies of the basic sciences. Many of you were eager to showcase this new knowledge in an attempt to attract members of the opposite sex. So while on a date or at a bar, those of you that flaunted your knowledge of the submucosal glands in the intestine, the branches of the maxillary artery, or the Krebs cycle, soon discovered that nobody cares. But perhaps our most memorable moments came during our third-year rotations. Internal medicine showed us the importance of teamwork with our interns, residents, and attendings. And this was very evident my first day on the wards, when my intern greeted me with a big hug, welcomed me to the team, and then told me to manually disinfect 3 of his patients. That ruined lunch for all of you. On psychiatry, we saw patients with crippling anxiety, depression, chronic fatigue, and obsessive-compulsive personality disorder. However, only later did we discover that these were actually not our patients, but our fellow medical students. On surgery, we saw our first glimpses into live, cut-open human bodies. And I'll never forget my first day in the operating room and the impression I made on the surgeon that day. 4 hours into an abdominal surgery, I asked the surgeon, "Doctor, is that the liver?" He then turned to me, seemingly impressed by my curiosity, paused, and then said, "Who are you?" On family medicine, we learned the joys of getting to know our patients personally and the rewards of longitudinal care. And in fact, many of you going into family medicine told me that you plan on doing this job until the day you die. Not because you want to, but because that's the only way you'll ever pay off your loans. Sorry, Thomas people, I'm sorry. But throughout these rotations, we'll never forget the invaluable feedback we received. Clearly, much time and thought was put into this. And if you'll indulge me, I'd like to share some of the comments I received on my surgery rotation. Arun was on time. Arun, good student is. Arun is very nice. And finally, Alice is a good student and she'll make an excellent doctor. But before you head off to residency, it's important to realize that as graduates of BU, you now represent this fine school and your colleagues for the rest of your life. So when you make a great diagnosis or successfully complete a risky surgery, be sure to stand tall and let everyone know you went to BU. When you accidentally infect everyone in the hospital with MRSA, or operate on the wrong side of the patient, again, be sure to stand tall and let everyone know you went to Harvard. Now, many of you asked me to say something inspirational today, something that would motivate you to become great doctors. But after getting to know most of you all the last 4 years, the one thing I'm certain about is that nobody here needs any motivation, and that their future patients will be in very good hands. Instead, I'd like to focus on something else: happiness. Are we as physicians happy? And I'm sure most of us would agree that if you got 10 physicians in a room, given enough time, we'll probably start to complain about something. Whether it's the long hours, endless paperwork, student loans, or malpractice costs. And in fact, a literature search on the topic of physician satisfaction will show many articles basically say we're not the happiest bunch. So, while we're all guilty of this complaining and dissatisfaction every now and then, if there's one thing I'd like to remind the graduates here today, including myself, it's to never forget that we are actually the luckiest people in the world. Not because of the good pay, the job security, or the prestige, but because we really do have the coolest job. In no other job do you get to operate on a live brain or play the role of detective to diagnose patients' mysterious ailments. In no other job do you see the elation of a mother holding her newborn infant, or that of a child who has just been cured of leukemia. And in no other job are people trusting you with their deepest concerns and secrets. So graduates, never forget how truly unique, and more importantly, how fun this job really is. So to the class of 2011, I wish you all the best of luck in residency. Try not to kill any patients this summer. And be sure to stock up on plenty of Zoloft. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jay. Thanks for visiting Toastmasters International to learn more about public speaking. Since 1924, we've helped more than 4 million people gain the confidence to communicate in all circumstances. And one of the most demanding situations you'll ever face is speaking to an audience. Here are some time-tested tips to help you prepare so that you feel empowered to impress others. If you pay attention to these 5 crucial tips when you plan and deliver your next speech, you'll have an easier time and your audience will get more out of the experience. Now, if you want to overcome nervousness, the first guideline is simply to know what you're talking about. You'll have an easier time giving a speech on a subject if you know the subject well. Want to speak about your favorite musician? Read any information on the person that you can find online or at your library. When you become an authority on your topic, the audience will want to learn what they can from you. And you won't have to struggle to keep your messages straight if you know the messages well. Once you've mastered your topic, the next step is to master your presentation. Make sure you rehearse the entire speech so that you will be comfortable presenting it. And practice any difficult parts repeatedly until they flow smoothly. Whether or not you memorize each word, you should make sure you know the order of your messages. That's why new Toastmasters members begin with the icebreaker speech. It's a chance to talk about the subject you know best, yourself. Then all you have to focus on is practicing how well you tell your story. Understand the importance of knowing who will be listening to you and where you will be when you give your presentation. Both the audience and location can create limitations that are important to understand. For example, if you are a researcher, you might speak about the math behind your work. Now, if you're addressing a group of college professors, you could use highly technical language to discuss a sophisticated research project. Would you do that if you were describing your work to a group of school children? For young kids, wouldn't it be better to talk about how people learn things through research? Knowing your audience means understanding and respecting their particular characteristics. Before you prepare your speech, their geography, politics, culture, and age, and other traits will define them as a group and will guide you in tailoring your presentation to fit their needs. Be sure to check out your location before you present. Will there be enough space on stage for everything you need? If you're planning to deliver a PowerPoint presentation, are you sure they'll have a screen? Or have you been placed in an outdoor amphitheater with too much sun for anyone to see the screen? What about audience size? Will a sound system be available if you need it? All these questions are important to answer before you take the stage. This is an eye-opener. For you, not your audience. You'd be surprised how much an audience misses during a presentation. If you make a minor mistake, such as skipping a portion of your speech or forgetting a few words, don't worry. Your audience most likely doesn't have a clue. Just keep going, and you'll find your way back on track with your next point. If you apologize, you call attention to the wrong part of your presentation, which takes away the important point you want to make. An advanced speaker knows how to guide the audience's attention toward the important parts and away from the small stuff. Whether you make a mistake or not, just remember that people want you to do a good job. And because of that, they're rooting for you. It helps to remember this with the next tip. to find success is to visualize it. Give yourself time for this important form of preparation. See yourself making important, valid points with appropriate gestures and body language that emotionally connect you with your audience. Once you see yourself using what works, you'll feel more relaxed and confident. And don't forget to imagine pausing while your audience applauds what.
Hello. Are all of y'all okay? Now I would like to mention an interesting thing. I went to a convention and they were gone. The interpreters were gone. There was none. I don't mean that the interpreters didn't show up. No, I had 2 interpreters. If the interpreters came for support, there was none there. The support for ASL there was none. In college, the interpreters, what was their excuse? Oh, I have an appointment. I can't. Another one can't replace me. I excuse them. The interpreters, they earn 50, 60 hours. The people that want to become interpreters, where are they? Like, that's what I don't understand. The brotherhood, where is that? I read about interpreters. I want brotherhood with the deaf people, community. I want to talk about Texas here. I'm not talking about other states. No, I'm talking about Texas. Other states, yeah, they have it, but here, Texas, we're the best. And I look around, the interpreters, there's none here. What's wrong? Deaf, yeah, they kind of take advantage of them and earn money, yeah. I feel like now we see only interpreters taking advantage of us. We don't see any support. And they talk about their time and how many people are learning ASL. There's none. And they can't go because school. And I understand that excuse, but more signing months. How much? I just look at them. I'm like, oh, who are you? Oh, okay. If later, it's been a long time and I've worked with the deaf and they volunteer, bullshit. I've never seen you here. When it counts. Whenever I'm watching you interpret the time, get involved. And all your excuses and that you try to make, now, that's not what's important. I don't hear anything from you. What are you doing? If you want support and you want fellowship, you have to be involved. Where are the interpreters, though? Come on. ASL, come on. I don't need excuses for... If you have excuses, go away. But support is what we need. And We want the group to grow again in other states, and starting here is where it should. Altogether, I think that the practice of interpreters for 40 years has sucked. Seriously. It's preached over and over again, the support for the deaf, and counting and writing and the fellowship of the deaf, and bullshit. It's not there. I want to see them active. I want to see them involved. I don't like. I'm sorry that it might upset you, but I'm being blunt. Interpreters are supposed to work with deaf people and work with CDIs and support. And I'm not negative, I'm just telling it straight. Come on, interpreters, come on. Students of ASL, where are y'all? We need help to become the best, to make our community grow. That's what I want it to grow. And in the future, we need legal interpreters, or we need interpreters for the deaf. It'll be easy because the group will have grown so big that there will be people for every occasion. And then Texas would become the best state, and we wouldn't have to suffer through legal court without interpreters. Interpreters that get away from the group, they need to just go away. If you meet me halfway, I'll meet you halfway. And I'm okay, and I hope that y'all are okay.